My name is Richard Elmstat, and I used to call this city home. If you live here long enough, the stench of this city seeps into your skin, and you have to get out. I lived here long enough, and then some. Long enough to get to know the people at the top, the politicians who line their pockets while the city decays, the vultures who take what they want while the rest of us go hungry. I'm a painter. I don't make much off my work, but I get by. I come from a long line of politicians, but I never wanted any part of that life. I traded the mansion on the hills for the life of a starving artist the first chance I got. I never regretted it. All the city reporters used to know my name. Some of them knew me for my work. Most knew me for my father. Carl Elmstat, my father, was the leader of the beloved Cosmopolitan Party, and this past year he ran for mayor. He was running against Edward Raban, an old rival of his, and pledged to change the way City Hall did business. He was a natural leader and an honest man. He saw the city not for what it was, but for what it could be. Politics was more than a job for my father. It was his calling. He never took a vacation and always showed up at town halls, for better or worse. The people adored him. Even when he failed, they knew he was fighting for them. He was fighting to take the city back, and the vultures at the top weren't going to let him. The night it happened was nothing special. He was working from home, as he often did. That night was his last. A cold-blooded armed robber broke in and shot him. The killer stole everything he could and left my father bleeding on the floor. My father was a noble man. He deserved better. When I was a kid, my father never had time for me. When I got older, I decided I didn't have time for him. Now I'm burying him, and I wish I could go back. I wish I could talk to him one more time. I'd tell him that I admired his courage, that I loved him, and always did. This was no random crime. It was calculated, planned. I'm sure of it. After the election, my father made enemies, and that night one of them struck back. In my bones, I know that Edward Raban is responsible for this atrocity, but I have to prove it. I don't have many friends in this city, but if there's one person who can help me at a time like this, it's Judy. I only hope she'll take my call.